Okay, in this video we're going to see how we can spice up our landing page using SiteOrigin's free page builder plugin. Now, to save time, I've copied content from the previous out-of-the-box WordPress landing page, and I created a new page here called the SiteOrigin landing page. Okay, so let me just make sure we got this page saved. So the first thing we need to do is we need to install the SiteOrigin plugin. The easiest way of doing that is to type in SiteOrigin, and hopefully it doesn't put in a... Okay, so here are the two that we want. We want the page builder, and we're also going to want the widgets bundle. And notice how they've got 5 stars. I honestly think that they deserve 5 stars. You can't do everything with them, but it is a pretty good package. So if you want to save some money, I also recommend getting their premium package, which gives you a couple extra bells and whistles. But for this case, we're just gonna use these two. So I've got them installed. Let's activate them. So I've clicked on plugins, installed plugins. We'll activate the page builder first. Okay, it says plugins activated. Then we'll activate the widgets bundle, and basically what that does is it just adds some extra widgets. Okay, let's go back to the page. Let's go to the SiteOrigin landing page. And so now there's this new tab called Page Builder. So if I click that, it's going to ask me, do you want to copy the content to the page builder? I'm going to click OK. And right now, everything is jammed in this page builder. And you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, how do I access this? Well, the way that you do that is you just click this edit button, and then it will display an editor. So visually, this is a little confusing. So what I'm going to do is pause the video and break the components up. I'll show one example of how you can do this. You can basically take this block, hit the duplicate button, and then I'm going to take this part up here, edit it, and I'm going to change this to problem. Okay, so, and then I'm going to get rid of everything else. So this paragraph, or this content block, only deals with the problem. And you see how it says right there, problem, and I can then over here change this to, if I can remember how to spell correctly, this I'll change to solution, and notice as I went up it messed up the text a little bit. Grab the rest of it, click done, and there we go. So I'm going to pause the video, break this up. Okay, so I've broken up the page into separate little components. We've got the headline addressing the problem, the solution, oriented subheadline, and so forth. And if I preview the changes in a new tab, you'll see that it looks very similar to what we had with WordPress out of the box. And you might be thinking, well, that's wonderful, not very exciting. So now we're going to actually get into the fun little widget that the SiteOrigin comes with. First thing we need to do is we're going to update this page. And we need to go back to the plugins, and down here, SiteOrigin widgets. And so by default, when you install the plugins, it pretty much just comes with the button, a features widget, a Google Maps feature. But you see a bunch of these are not selected. So we actually want to turn a couple of these on. So the one I'm going to turn on call to action. You could turn on all of these. I don't see what would be wrong with that. But, in fact, yeah, let's just turn them all on. Make it easy. Image grid. Testimonials. Video player. So that's something you just want to keep in mind, because if you don't have them activated, they won't appear when you're trying to use the editor. Okay, let me close that tab, and then we're going to go back to the page. Click on the SiteOrigin landing page. And let's switch to the live editor. So I'm just going to kind of show you some of the widgets that you can use here. First, I'm going to click this little button to create a brand new row. And so this is one of the nice things that you can do with the SiteOrigin widget, is that you can break up things into columns. So for right now, I'm just going to have a one column row. If I drag it up here, and then I can move the headline up to its own little spot. And actually, let me edit this row. I just kind of want to show you how this works. So notice how it now, this is split up into two columns, and you can see that there's one part over here, one part over there. So if I wanted to, I could have the headline on one side and then have the text on another side, which looks kind of similar to the 2017 theme that we were using earlier. But I don't really want to do that, so let's do something else. Let's actually use one of the fancy widgets that we got here. Let's start off with the button widget. And normally when you add widgets to the page builder, it adds them to the bottom, so you can see kind of the beginning of the button widget. And if I click on that, I can now add some text. So I'll do something like buy now. For URL, just put a hash. And this is where things get kind of cool. You can choose an icon, and it will allow you to select from a number of different icons sets. So you can pick from elegant theme icons, font awesome icons, and others. So for right now, I'm just going to pick this. It's simple enough. Then if I expand the design and layout, I can change the way the button looks. So I'm not going to make a whole lot of changes, but I am going to make it extra large and maybe very high padding. And then if I click the preview button, I can see what this looks like. Alright, there we go. We got a massive button. Maybe that padding is just a little too much. Try previewing again. There we go. That's a little bit more like it. Okay. Click done. Okay, so what this does, this widget does, is that it replaces my order now button. In fact, let me change the text so that it actually matches. Order now. There we go. So now I can get rid of this ugly call to action, so we've improved the call to action a little bit. So let's add another SiteOrigin widget. Here's another one called the call to action. I just want to show you the differences between these. This is very similar to the button, but it's a little bit different. Type in call to action, then put in some generic Latin text. It's got some options in here. I'll type in order now. And for sake of time, I'm just going to leave the default settings, but click the preview button and you can see what it does. So here, the call to action, what it does is that it puts a headline to the left. It also puts a little subhead, and I'm trying to see if there is anything else that it puts in there. No, that's pretty much it. So click done so you can see how that looks. So this is the button widget. This is the call to action widget. And let's add another widget, see what we've got in here. The SiteOrigin editor, that's just the editor out of the box. The features is pretty cool, so I'm going to add that. And I'm thinking that that will replace maybe our process. So scroll down to the bottom. I apologize about the way that this is scrolling up and down. That's just how it works. So with features, you add individual features. So let's just let's add one, and we'll call it feature 1, and we'll pick an icon. I don't know. Here, we'll pick that icon. There we go. Feature 1. Put in some nonsense text. That's not very long. There we go. Then we put in something like read more. This will be the link that will take it to another page. And then there's some other things that you could change. You can change the size of the font. You can change how many features in a row it appears. So let's click preview and see how that looks. So that gives you an idea of what that looks like. And it gives you an idea of what's wrong. So let's change this to be feature 1. Preview it again. When you're building these landing pages, a lot of it is going to be trial and error. That's just something you got to expect to have happen. So we got one feature. Let's duplicate it, and you can do that by clicking this little duplicate icon. So I'll click it twice and call it feature 2, feature 2. Open this one up, feature 3, feature 3, and then click preview, and so you can see how that works. Wait a minute. I thought I put in, oh, I accidentally put in feature 4. Whoops. So this might work well with the process. So let me move this up by dragging it up, and let me edit this so that I don't think the icon title actually does anything. Let's change this to step 1. step 2, and step 3. Okay, there you go. And then maybe above this, we'll put in another widget called the, where is it? Headline widget. So this is the SiteOrigin headline widget. I don't have anything in it right now, but I'm going to drag it above features. And so I'm going to say for the headline features, and then for the subhead, check out these great features. And you can, as you can see in here, you can set a bunch of different things. You can have a divider, and you can let's preview and see what it looks like. Features, check out these great features. And if you want to move the divider to the bottom, you can just drag it. I'll click preview again. There's a bit of space there, so I'm going to actually move it back up. There we go. Click done. So now you can kind of see how this would work, because you'd have a features and the different, actually, my apologies, that's not supposed to be features, that's supposed to be process. Okay, process. Check out our 3-step process. If you walk away with anything, you can be assured that it's like, if I can figure this out, anybody can. Alright, let's just let's delete that section with the process. And then for the sake of organization, I think it's handy to have some of these things in separate rows, so I'm going to go ahead and add a row to the bottom. Drag it down here. Move the call to action. Scroll down. And although this call to action has some purposes, I like the button by itself, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete the call to action. Okay, then I'm going to put the, not the features, the process in its own separate row, so I'm not getting confused. Come on, get down there. There we go. Okay, then just a lot of this is just drag and drop. Okay, so now processes is all by itself. Okay, so let's break up the examples, and for that I don't really need to use a widget. I could if I wanted to. Like if you look in here, there's a bunch of different widgets that you can experiment with, and each one of them needs like their own video, but for sake of time I'm going to actually just use the content block. So what I've got here is I've got 2 columns. What's neat about this is that you can actually change the ratios. So for example, if you want to follow golden ratio or some of these other ones, you can, but I'm just going to go with the even for right now. golden ratio would be handy if you want to have one column larger than the other. And alright, so down here for examples, I'm going to drag this over here and click it, and then I'm going to hit duplicate. And now it's kind of confusing because there's two of these, but let me just edit this really quick. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. If you use a Mac, there's a neat little thing you can do to capitalize. Of course, it only halfway works sometimes. Okay. Now edit the next one. Another example. And actually for this, let's just grab some different text. That way you can tell the difference. Okay, what's going on? If you ever have a problem like this, where you're wondering what's going on, click the toggle toolbar and select all the text, and then click this clear formatting button, and that will reset your text. Okay, there's some reason there's some sort of space. Okay, I switched here to text to see that there's a hidden H4 tag in there that I want to get rid of. Okay, that should take care of that problem. Okay, oh yeah, testimonials. Let's use the testimonial widget. Where is it? Testimonial widget. Figure out where it put it. There it goes. Okay, I'll drag this up right underneath where the testimonials currently are. And now let's see how the testimonials work. So let's type in testimonials. And this is something that probably displays multiple testimonials at once. Johnny and Sacramento. And then we'll put in some dummy text from him. And let's not make it that long. There we go. And then add another one. Jimmy. Sacramento. And then one more. Bimmy. Probably nobody's going to get that joke. Looks like it keeps picking the same text. There we go. Okay, and you can see here, you can set the number of testimonials for a row. You can change the image, which I'm not exactly sure. Oh yeah, you would set that. right there. Well, we're not going to do that right now. Let's just preview what it looks like. So there's a testimonials widget, and just click done. And I don't really like the way that it's looking, so let's change the way that, let's change testimonials to row. Let's just bring it down to 1 and have them stack on top of each other. There we go. That looks nicer. Hit delete for the old testimonials. And I think I've showed you enough. So I'm going to click done, and you see now we're back on the editing page. You can see what see how things are arranged, and let's click update. And view the page. So we've done some awkward things. We got the headline moved over, so you kind of have an idea of how the columns work. We didn't do much here with the image, but there is an image widget that you can play around with. We have the testimonials widget. We again experimented with the columns, and then get a little bit more interesting with the process where you can put in different icons and then have a button. So this would look a lot better if I spent some more time with it. I just wanted to give you an overview of how this plugin works. The interface is a little bit tricky to understand, and there are some limitations. It doesn't come close to the number of widgets that come with something like the Divi builder, which is what I'm going to showcase in the next video.